Hello everybody, welcome to Frontier Mentality. So we're in the back garden, and as you can see, we have okra left. We have a few tomatoes down that aisle left. Not much left up here. So I'm going to walk us back to the house. Let's get you up. There's where the corn used to be, and the butternut and the cucumbers, all gone now. Hope everybody's doing well. It is a beautiful, cool morning, and the sun is out. It is Wednesday here. No, my bad. It's Thursday morning. You will see this later Thursday afternoon. I was canning yesterday, so I didn't get to do the garden tour video yesterday. So, catch up. Yesterday I was discussing that you continue doing beans, rice, cornmeal. Let's stand y'all up and let's have a chit chat out here on the trail. Okay. Good morning, or afternoon or evening, whenever you're watching this. So we need to continually stock our flour, our cornmeal, and rice and beans. These are still relatively cheap at the grocery store. Throw in a can of meat as well during this time period. So if you're playing in the home game, I believe June had 4 weeks, and July had 5 weeks in it. So that's 9 weeks worth of getting those items on your shelf. So I was breaking it down in my head the other day. If you're buying the pound of beans, or if you have a bigger family and you're buying the bigger pounds of beans, the 5 pounds I believe it is. So one person for a year needs 25 pounds of beans. So that should help you jump off your jumping point a little bit. Excuse me. And for rice, white rice stores best. Whether it's balsamic rice or white rice or jasmine rice, they all store the same because they're all been bleached a little bit. For one person, you need 25 pounds. So one big 20-pound bag, and you're right at that mark almost, minus 5 pounds, and then you can buy 5 little pound rice bags if you need to, or box rice, or whatever it is. So I've been trying to urge y'all to get up to 3 of those 20 pound bags. They're like $20 still. Last time I went into the store, which was Monday, because I do go and price things when I'm going in buying dog food or whatnot. But why the extra if you can get away with 25 pounds? Well, the extra if you're buying soups, you can add it to soup and stretch the soup a little further. It's a good stretcher. You can add it to soups, you can add it to a lot of things and make your meals go further. It just helps you feel full. So with your cornmeal and your self-rising flour, you need to get up to 12 big bags. I think they're 3-pound bags. If you're just one person, I would say you could probably get away with 12 of those little bags. A big little bag of cornmeal, a little bag of self-rising flour, and then you could also do the Jiffy boxes. With the Jiffy boxes, I would say 25 for a year if you're a single person. This just also helps give you a little bit of minerals and gut fillers at the same time. So we're going to do one more week of that, so you can have that done. So your beans, your rice, your flour, your cornmeal, put it in the freezer for 3 days. Let it sit on the table or somewhere for 2 days. Let everything come back down to room temperature. 5-gallon buckets work great for storing them. I've got a short video or a video on different ways to repackage your food, so look that up, or I can link that in the description or in the comments below. Okay, a few things I wanted to touch base, because this is a short garden tour, because summer is twiddling out and so is the produce. Okay, did you know in the year 1815 Mount Torma erupted, and this was a super volcano in Indonesia? And you're like, who cares? That was on the other side of the planet. Well, you should care, because on the other side of the planet, a year later, affected us here in the United States. It was called the year without a summer in 1816. Crops failed. There were still some home gardening that still produced a small fraction, but it would be like a third of what I've got. So that is devastating if you're relying on your garden to feed you for the winter or for the year. Why am I mentioning the year without a summer? Well, Kim Kodicha volcano, I know I'm butchering that, but it's in Siberia Peninsula. It's a part of Russia territory, but it is also another super volcano, and it is waking up. And it is everything they have found, science proven, that volcanoes, earthquakes, the moon and the sun affects all of this on Earth. So solar flares are going off. So if any of you are feeling off, it might be because of the solar flares. Solar flares have been shown and proven to move the tectonic plates and volcanoes. And this particular one is on the Ring of Fire. So we know everything bumps, scoots, and boogies on the Ring of Fire. So we saw a 7-point something another earthquake this week, and it was last weekend, and they called it tsunamis. But waves that are probably in this where people surf in Hawaii, they surf 10-foot waves and no big deal, right? Well, when you add another 8 feet to that, that's got a lot of serious riptides and pulling people out. I think that is still riptides, but it adds to it. I know that I think once it reached our borders on the United States, California wise, I believe they said it was 4 feet higher than the normal waves, and it became very dangerous swimming conditions for our friends, family, anybody we know that might be on the West Coast. So it still plays effect. And then the moon, if you think about it, controls 75% of the planet. It controls the tides and the stuff. And the moon is kind of like the counterbalance for Earth, because when the Earth is bumping and grooving, it is also shifting. I think the last science report that I saw today showed that the earth has shifted 151 miles. I've touched base on the tinfoil hat series with some of it was in the Pangea one where the poles are beginning to shift. Well, the poles are shifting because the tectonic plates are bumping and grooving. Do I think it's dangerous to have bases on the moon? 100%, because the moon controls our waters. If they do something stupid in space, it could cause stupidness on Earth. So, with that being said, I know y'all can hear it in the background, and I'm going to try to get us in the front yard. If I have to pause this, I will. But another thing about the summer, the year without summer, it caused not just food shortages planet-wise. I think it destroyed all the crops in England. In the United States, in its very young age, was supporting and help feeding people in Europe. If you're watching the news, you probably saw where Russia bombed Ukraine's gas lines. That was natural gas pipeline. So if you heat your home with natural gas, you need to go ahead and top off all those tanks now, because Big Brother America always ships our stuff to help other countries out. It is a money-making thing. And I am going to pause you because here comes the train. Okay, you can see I walked just to a different spot. The sweet potatoes are doing amazing in this little bed. I'll get back to the chit chat in just a second. Sorry, I had to step over. The lavender bed is doing well. You can see the tomatoes. Oops, sorry. My little wand kind of broke, so we're working with what we can do. I want y'all to see how tall the peppers have gotten. Those peppers are now taller than I am. And I believe it's the Tabasco and jalapenos that are beginning to get taller than I am. Then we have the marigolds. Okay. All this mess here falling over is the butterhead lettuce. I'm going to try to get y'all down here so y'all can see all these little greens down here that are growing in the dirt. That is more butterhead lettuce coming up from these. Lemon plants doing well. And you can see we still got a lot of little cherry tomatoes coming in. I just canned fig butter yesterday and a few whole figs. Looks like I'll be canning some more probably this Sunday, hopefully. Tomatoes are still doing well over here. The ginger has gotten so big. Okay, let's get it down here. And this other sweet potato patch is doing so lush and so well. I'm praying that I have a good crop underneath the ground there. The dead on the fence is the cucumbers. They're done. They played out. Here's the okra. We have enough okra froze for the year, so now I'm beginning to pickle the okra. I gotta make up some more brine. Probably this evening or tomorrow. Empty space here because this was where all the honeydew was. And then we have more tomatoes coming in. Okay, let's get us up here so we can chit chat. Like I said, it was a very short garden tour, simply because everything from the summer planting is almost done. Okay, let's drop you down so we can, there's the swing. Get everything propped up. So let's figure out where I gotta sit. Okay, there we go. If you like the shirt, go to Sanctified Supply Company. They have a lot of great, amazing Christian t-shirts for sale. I'm not sure if they have this one still, but they do have like some that are one of a kind. Would be once a month. They're having those one of a kind type t-shirts, and once that month's done, that shirt's gone. I can't remember if this was one of them or not, but anywho. Okay, where was we when we was talking? We got the different volcanoes and the tectonic plates going off. That's right, okay. So during this time period in Asia and all of Europe and stuff, from the volcano, diseases broke out much more horrific than they were prior. Cholera was outrageous. New spores from the volcanic ash got into the soil and made it worse. The first potato plight in Ireland was during this time. It was like the precursor to the bigger plight that caused a lot of Irish people to come to the United States, because the plight was killing their potatoes, and their potato crop was their biggest food source. That's part of the reason I rotate where I plant my potatoes each year, is to try to keep plight out of our soil. Diseases eventually made it here to the United States. The ash reached here a year later, just because of the global climate and whatnot. So, and I think I touched base where we sent, this is the first time we were sending aid to Europe and for food to help them from starving to death. So, if a volcano goes off on the Ring of Fire, it would devastate crops. It would devastate even people's gardens in their yards. They wouldn't produce as much. That's why it's so critical to keep stocking your pantry, keep stocking up, because the government is not going to come and save you. You say, well, Michelle, I live in an apartment. I'm on the 13th, 14th floor. You can still stock that 13th and 14th floor. You can be buying, let's say you're buying one day and you got in your budget to buy a 5-gallon bucket with a lid. Go ahead and buy that 5-gallon bucket. Did you know you can line, I think it's 15 of those, or maybe it's 14, and it's the size of if you put 2 like this going back, I believe that's the size of a twin bed. You can get rid of your box spring, lay down a thin piece of plywood or some lattice, and then lay your mattress on top of the buckets. Use your bed skirt. Okay, so you got your buckets, you got your lattice so your mattress can breathe. That's part of what the box spring is for. Then you can lay your bed skirt over it, so it's hiding food in plain sight, and you're sleeping on, instead of stuffing money under your mattress, you're stuffing food underneath you. You can get shoe boxes or clothes bags and put food under your bed They can roll out. The bottom of your closets, your shoes can stack up on top of those. If you got a coat closet and you got room in your regular closet for your coats, turn the coat closet into a pantry. Make it a working pantry. So what I mean by working, so you got a pantry, you got your food in your cabinets and in your shelves in your kitchen. So your working pantry, go into the coat closet, shop out your coat closet to fill your kitchen pantries up or your kitchen shelves. And when you're going to the grocery store, shop from your coat closet, not from what's in the kitchen, but what's in the coat closet. That way you're rotating. The coat closet can hold up to a year's worth of food. But you said, Michelle, I got more than one person. A coat closet can do 2 people for a year. If you're strategic about it, and you can do it. If you're one of these people that sees the dangers coming and you need more food, under beds, in closets, there's hidden real estate all over your home. When you're putting it in buckets or the big Tupperware containers, the black and yellow or the black and red, they're stackable. So there you're creating a dark place and you can stack them. Let's say you're selling a lot of your furniture because you're having to eat. Well, those end tables, you can sell them. Put a nice little tablecloth over some containers with your food in it. You still have your side table and you got security for food. You need to have ways to purify water. I went over the systems, I believe, not too long ago. So a Berkey is supposedly the Berkey Deluxa Pro. Food for Patriot has a knockoff version, but they all use the same filters. So the filters are your cost, but it moves. If you get the Pro 1 filters, they fit all the ones I'm talking about, and they have all the sizes of the different ones. They even move the PFAS out of the water. Where I live, that is very important. The carpet mills and some chemical companies have used stain resistant on carpet, which is a forever chemical that has gotten into our water supply because of bad practices. I've went to several meetings and learned about this, and it was very upsetting. But I was getting the Berkey for in case of poo-poo hits the fan and I need to clean my drinking water from the rain. But now I'm just having to clean my water because of the chemical companies and the carpet mills doing bad practice. But yeah, so with all this being said, I'm not a physician. We also see where I was talking about Russia and Ukraine and just go ahead and filling your propane tanks up now before price and demand becomes so high that it prices you out of heat of your home. You need to go ahead and keep those babies topped. Not just your cars, but your home tanks as well. Or invest in a wood stove. And every time a storm passes and the trees are falling, when the people come out for the insurance purposes to clean up the fallen trees, leave them in your yard. Just ask them to cut them up into manageable pieces for you so you can use them for your house. Houses without wood stoves can be added. You can do your research, but you can usually do a rock half wall or a tile wall or tin behind a wall. It's for a heat shield, so it doesn't damage your sheetrock and all that. But yeah, we saw where, I can't remember his name, somebody over in Russia was flabbergasting and saying, well, we'll just do this and we'll just do this and we'll just bomb this, and then Trump sends 2 nuclear subs over there. It's all over the news. I'm not giving away any secrets. But that being said, you know, if we've got them there, they've got them here. With that being said, you probably need to make sure that you're prepping a place in your yard for a victory garden. Fall is you still got to eat. And your fall gardens can produce a lot to help you throughout the year. Like I said, garden tour, this is 14, and we will also be getting into fall seasoning. Yeah. So I need everybody to keep stocking, keep prepping. For the next 2 weeks, I want you, after this week, I'll tell you on the next video what to start prepping on. Unless you've already gotten if you're already good with your beans, your rice, and your cornmeal, and flour, and bread flour. Seasoning packets. You don't want food fatigue. It's a real thing. If you're eating beans day in, day out, you're going to need seasoning, baking powder, and baking soda. Why am I saying baking soda? Everybody's going to get gas from beans. And to help the load in your stomach, you're going to want something, if you don't have Alka-Seltzers, which is pretty much baking soda, with a little bit of medicine laced into it. But baking soda can help all kinds of gas symptoms in your body. Alright, now with that being said, please stay safe, please get ready, and please get prepared. Frontier Mentality signing out.